We're doing it.
We're doing it. It's so official.
Isn't this so fun in here?
I just like
in
I like holding. I like holding.
I love holding the mic. That's what I realized doing it with M. But I was like, wait, I like this.
But do you think you could do this by yourself? Like, would it be like
no, I like
weird
it.
to hold a mic by yourself?
No, I like it.
It's true. You like to be.
I mean,
you never met a camera, mic, stage, nothing that you don't love.
This is true. That's when you know you have to pay attention to the things that feel good. And this feels good in the hand.
Just a quick note, Melissa's been doing a lot of keynote. No, but like
motivational speaking.
Motivational speaking. Thank you. And every time they turn her mic off and she's still going, and it's like, the mic's off. You're done here.
No, it's happened every time that I've had the mic. And I'm like, just what? And I'm like, it's off. They turned it off. It's fine. I've had it for 30 minutes and just like ripped my first keynote 30 minutes on the stage. Like it was.
That's why you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I'm so excited about it.
I know. Well, should we say why?
Well, where are we? What are we doing?
We're in Hawaii. We're at the Grand Wailea in Maui. And we were here for the opening of their new
Kilolani spa.
Yes, Melissa says it much more gracefully than I do. And she taught 2 amazing classes.
And they were so intimate, which is something so different than really what I've been doing for, the past
few years.
Yeah. But it's so nice. It's just such a different energy because I feel like when you have a bigger class, the energy there's just so much going on that you're less likely almost to take it on. But in intimate groups, I'm just like, I pick up on the energy more.
Yeah, we'll talk about energy. We have some good questions.
But we've been inseparable for the past 3 days and setting up for this tonight. It's our last night here and we leave in the morning and we're parting ways. She's going to LA. I was just thinking to myself, like, are you done talking to me? Like, is there anything left to give?
It's been 7 years and I'm not done talking.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. First question.
We got these from a Q&A that I did a poll on Instagram. So
great question. Okay. How did you come across A Course in Miracles and how did it change you?
I feel like I haven't talked about A Course in Miracles in so long. I learned about A Course in Miracles through Marianne Williamson and Gabby Bernstein. And this is back many, many years ago when Marianne would do live talks each week and speak on behalf of the wisdom in A Course in Miracles. I also read her book, A Return to Love, which is it's about teachings from A Course in Miracles. And it helps to really intro you into that book. By the way, I've never read the actual textbook, the entire textbook.
This. You haven't.
It's so long and it's so dense. The entire book?
I'm now on the lessons of a day, but I read the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, but I barely understood it.
Well, that's kind of where I'm going with it. So I actually started with the text, with the lessons of a day in the back. So there's 365 lessons, a lesson for every day of the year. And it's really all about helping you shift your perspective. And at first, like some of the lessons are like, that table is not there. That chair is, and I'm like, what? But it is, but it's just really teaching you about like the subconscious mind and your conscious mind. And it really just helps you understand. At least for me, it was like a lot of the things that were going on in my life was like chaos I was creating in my own mind, which I know sounds crazy, or the way I was looking at things. So listen, I've done the lesson of a day twice where I've done the full 365 days. Here and there, you'll forget a day and you just pick up. But recently I got back into it, and it's almost been a little bit more of a challenge to like read the lesson every day. But I will say when I do, and they do say, so this book is non-denominational. It's such an interesting story of how it started, but it's just one of those books that you just like feel how spiritual it is when you pick it up. I know that sounds crazy, but even just like opening the book and like reading something, even just like a simple passage, just makes me look at things differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here acting like I have all of the knowledge about A Course in Miracles. People have asked me to teach about it, and I'm like, I am a student of A Course in Miracles. And most people, even I know I've heard Marianne say, Gabby say, like they're students of the course as well. For me, it's one of those things that I'm still really learning how to comprehend a lot of it, but it has really, it's like opened me up to look at things differently.
Mm-hmm. And it also depends like where you are in your life when you're reading it. What you need that day is like probably what you're going to read. It's just like,
it is interesting how that happens.
Yeah, I know.
But
I love when you talk about that.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like it's amazing how connected it all is. But I would recommend starting with a return to love.
Okay. Good tip. Suggestions for clean deodorant that works.
I love this one, and I feel like we can make it short and sweet. Something I'm not good at. I just started testing Clio Coco, and I'm really liking it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, you don't smell.
That's good. Thank you. You love Each and Every, which I like too. I do like Each and Every.
Lime.
Oh, I didn't try that one.
Oh, you have to. Makes you not sweat, smell, none of it.
And these are all non-toxic clean deodorants. Yeah. But I do have to say, because I think deodorant is like dating. And I know this is weird, but I like said this the other day, and Ava was like, you have to write that down. When, everything starts out great, things are working, they're in the flow. And then when things start to get challenging, you start to see what's not working. And that's the same thing, like, right? Like dating is like, everything's good in the beginning. And then when things start to heat up or like challenges arise, you really see who stands the test of time, and most of them don't. And deodorant's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it though? Because the thing with deodorant is they all seem to work at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why I love to wear test. Like I'm a big 30, 60 days.
I was going to say, you love to test things in general too. So that's also.
Yeah, but a lot of the great deodorants a lot of people speak about are great for 30 days.
Yeah.
And then you see the reality of what it really is. I know it's very weird, but that came up the other day when I was talking about deodorant. Alice Panikian, my girlfriend, who is so intelligent, has so much knowledge in the clean beauty space. Highly recommend following her. She recently shared that she likes Kosas, so I need to try that. And I always follow her recommendations because she knows everything about clean products, even products that are marketed as clean and non-toxic that aren't, which unfortunately is a thing.
Yeah.
With regulations, certain terms you can use, even ingredients like fragrance and perfume, you can still call it clean when technically it's not. And highly recommend following her. And I do like Native.
Yeah, Mark likes Native.
He does.
Yeah, I think it's more for like the males.
Mark is Dylan's boyfriend.
Yes. Hi, babe.
Wait, he will listen. Have we ever told that story?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, that's what people care about. They don't care about this.
Okay.
No, this is such a good
Fuck the list.
story. I mean, I feel like we'll go into the next question of what is it like
we'll
working
tell it
with
quick.
me. Okay, tell the story quick.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so me and my boyfriend Mark, we've been together for 4 years. We started dating back in COVID when I lived with Melissa and Noah and the kids. And we knew each other from high school. We were like, we would like, make out. Like we liked each other. But
Didn't you go to prom or something?
we went to prom together and he kind of wanted nothing to do with me at the time. He was like, we were like 17 years old.
Right.
And then go off to college, 10 years. And then we were always like friendly. We'd see each other out, mutual friends. And then when I was living with you, he reached out because he was also in the Hamptons with his family. And I saw his mom in town one day picking up sushi for us. And she said, "Oh my God, Mark's been talking about you. Like, you guys have been, talking." Because we would say, like, "Hey, like, where are you getting takeout from?" And like, COVID things. And she said to me, "I would just die if the two of you ended up together one day." And I was like, "Oh God, I don't know." And then after that, he texted me and he was like, "Would you want to get sushi with me one day?" And I was like, "Okay." And so again, I was picking up sushi for me.
And I was like, "You have to wear your mask." Like,
oh my God.
Remember how crazy it was? I was like, "You can't be seen with him." It was scary. Like, we didn't know what was going on.
No,
and,
I know.
Like, you did one wrong move and the whole world loved to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or a move that you didn't do, but people said that you did. So we'll stop there. Keep going.
Yeah. And like, I'll remember our second date, we're going to go out to Montauk and just like walk on the beach, like not drive together, like literally just like meet there. And I asked you and you were like, "Well, where are you going to go?" And I was like, "We're just like going to walk on the beach." She was like, "Well, I don't know. Like, is it safe?" And I was like, "We're just going to be outside, like social distancing."
It was scary.
It was scary. But then we started dating and he kind of became part of our pod.
Wait, no.
I fast forwarded.
You can't just say you started dating because you were very like, "I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her, I was like, "Look, I feel like when you go in with that energy and that mindset, you just block any opportunity that could be something. Like, just be open. Like, you never know." I'm like, "Look at Noah and I." Like, in the beginning, I was the same. I was like, "No, I would never date him. No." Like,
you're right.
I know
don't
so many
remember
girls
this
he
part.
dated. Like, it wouldn't be. I mean, I feel like that was the thing that stood in the way.
Yeah.
And then I remember very vividly, we were in the pool one day with the kids and he came over.
Yeah.
He was like 6 feet. And I just remember seeing your face and you just did it again. I was like watching you and I was like smiling. You lit up in a way where you were like so happy to see him. And like you guys had this cute little playful thing. And I was like, "No, I'm serious." And I just remember being like, "Oh my God, like he's such a sweetie. Like give him a chance." And you did. I mean, not that I told you to, but like you were so happy.
You've never told me that.
Really?
Yeah, that's really sweet.
I'll never forget. And he was just like so cute and jolly. And I was like, "You're such a sweetheart."
He's such a sweetheart. I know that was one thing that we were talking about the other day. Somebody asked, like, oh my God, I know I'm tearing. Like, what's something you learned in your 20s, like in relation to dating? And I was like, to go with the nice guy, to give the nice guy a chance. Cause it's like, I mean, I feel like I learned that from you too with Noah. Like, Noah's like heart of gold. So
He's the best.
yeah. So that's what I ended up with. Thank God that I gave him a chance.
This was so funny too, because at this point, you had been with us for like 4 months. Like the world was starting to shift and people were doing a little bit more. And Dylan asked me if Mark could sleep over. And I was like, "I don't know." Like,
no, you said, I don't know.
I said, "I don't know. Ask Noah." And what did Noah say?
And Noah goes, "I'm not your dad. You can do whatever you want."
And then I just remember Mark in the bed, like shirtless and the kids like jumping on him. And I'm like, "Well, welcome to the family."
so weird now when you think about it. But like
He was
so
just like sitting
COVID.
up in the bed and I was like,
Oh my God. I know.
It's a really sweet love story.
I
And
know.
the fact that you guys went to prom together, are you kidding me?
I know. They're really good pictures.
That's so sweet.
I know. But I really do thank you and Noah for taking me in, that we even ended up in that situation, and just like for just thinking like I wouldn't be with him if it wasn't for the two of you. Truly. So
It's such a sweet thing.
I
You guys
know.
are so cute.
I love it. Okay. Now to rising above gossip and negative family dynamics.
I think for me, this has always been one of the most challenging things. And I think the most important thing is like dissolving as much as you can that almost mentality to like get on the phone and just start talking shit about everything that's the other, like maybe one sibling's doing, and it's so natural and like we all do it. I do it. Like I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that, but I think
Gossip is natural. That's
it
just
is,
like,
but I do think you can dissolve a lot of it. And it can be more about like constructive conversation and less about just like tearing shit talking and tearing people down. There's a huge difference. And by the way, when I find myself in that zone, I'm like, energy attracts energy. Like it's just a fact. And if I'm giving off that energy, like, okay, maybe that person's not in the room, but people can feel things and sense things. So, I mean, I've definitely tried to be so much more mindful and aware of how I speak about people, even when I'm upset or whatever's going on. And that is why I have a therapist too, to like really do the dump there where it's like more of the unedited. And like, I have a very close relationship with you, my sister Laura, Chrissy, like I have amazing friends, Noah, but I've really tried to edit it down where it's less of how I used to just like go in and dump.
Having a therapist really is the best place to have a safe space to dump. I found that in my therapy journey because it doesn't feel good when there's a difference, I think, between shit talking and gossip.
And I will also say that one thing I've been paying very close attention to recently in the past couple of years, but so much this year, is when my spirit rejects someone. And this, I think, and sometimes, listen, things happen in family and it's really hard and it's really sad. And that's not a rejection, but I think when something just feels entirely wrong and like you're almost just like in a knot, just when I say dissolve, it's just like giving that space. And it doesn't have to be this person is cut off, I'm never speaking to them. It's just like dissolving that, like not knowing of what it is and giving space, because space will bring so much clarity. And when it comes to friends too, it is so natural, and this happens in life. Some people are meant to be here for some seasons. Some people are on the ride for life. And there's a big difference in knowing when to just pull back. And it doesn't need to be hateful or hurtful or wishing people bad. It's just sometimes you grow in different directions.
It's also about boundaries too, with friends and family, knowing when to set up the appropriate boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
You've gotten really good at that.
I've gotten really good at that because I pay very close attention to how
people make you feel.
To how people make me feel. And if there's people in your life that do something or you leave them feeling this like you can't put your finger on it, but it doesn't feel good, I think we have to listen to those things. And you can still care about someone and wish them truly well, but no longer allow open access.
Yes. I've definitely learned that from you over the years.
It's important. We have to protect and preserve our energy.
Okay, back to us. How did you and Dylan become besties? You have such a special connection.
This is such a funny.
I know, it's cute.
I mean,
I think people know I work for you.
We work together. Dylan was my first full-time hire. We've shared this before, but I think it's always good to bring things back.
Yeah.
And
it's been 7 years.
It's been 7 years.
I do brand partnerships, podcast. What else do I do?
I mean, well, when Dylan started, she was my assistant. She managed my partnerships, my schedule,
the website, creating the website, our first
customer
website.
Service. Like we
did all.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I've worked with agencies in the past, but now I no longer do when it comes to managing brand deals, partnerships, collaborations. Dylan handles everything in-house. And I mean, I love it. It's been such a nice way because everything we do, we're so intentional and thoughtful and it needs to be fully aligned. I mean, Dylan can tell you how many things I say yes to and how many things I say no to.
Like what we say no to.
It's mostly no's because if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And if it's a maybe, it's a no. That's my big one recently.
Yeah. We've been having a lot of maybes and they've turned into no's because they have to feel right.
Because I think the thing that happens in this industry too, and by the way, this is a fraction of the business, like the member base. And
it's kind of like can I say that? It's like the cherry on top.
Right. And it's amazing. And I love it. It's such a fun way to work with people and to have beautiful relationships.
That we
love.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. Like you should love who you work with. But in this industry, I think what happens is like you can get a rate where you're like, ooh, yes, let's make that work. And then you start working on it and it's just like you're forcing it because of that rate. And the rate becomes the foundation. It can't be. In order for things to completely work in a flow state, it has to be because it's completely aligned. It's something you love. It's the beautiful like molding of a relationship blossoming. And then it's like, oh, the rate is so important, by the way. But I've found myself doing that and I'm like, no, it's okay. It will come in a different form in a much more like impactful, bigger way. And it has every single time.
Oh, for sure. We only work with people that we absolutely love. And that's the other thing I love about my job is creating these relationships with these beautiful brands and these founders. And I'm kind of like the bridge, that gap between you and these brands. And I love testing the brands alongside you. It's like, it's so exciting to be able to bring a brand maybe that's just starting out in the wellness space and like really give them a platform and see them grow because of you. It's just like, it's so amazing. That's my favorite part of my job, truly.
Love that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like we have so many amazing stories of like sharing something, for the first time. And then it's really powerful what sharing what you love can do to help everyone.
Yeah.
And And
everyone wants to know what you're using. So,
but also doing it where like not every second of everything you do is paid. That's how things have continually come and stayed for so long with so many brands. It's like, I share it even like, sure, we'll have a scope and deliverable. I love to go above and beyond those things and not, focus so much on, well, it's 3 stories and then I'm, sharing it every time I'm traveling. Or I think that goes a really long way. And it's just so authentic and organic to share things that you truly love. I feel like I know there's this question and I want to take this into, because I feel like it segues into the next one, is what it's like working with me. Because I feel like this trip too, she's like, I am so happy just to like have me cornered that I can't go anywhere. But what is it like when you're trying to get all the things answered that you need?
Yeah, that's like such a deep one. It's I feel like working for Melissa is like, to brand it, it's a vibe check. Like everything just needs to be kind of like felt out. It's like, okay, what does she have on the calendar today? How is she feeling today? Like what needs to be done today? What needs to be answered today? What can wait till tomorrow? What can wait till next week? Like it's definitely, there's a lot on your plate. There's a lot going on. And it just is kind of about feeling out the right time to dive into the right thing. And sometimes nailing you down is tough.
I'm like doing my makeup. I'm like, can you talk now? And then I'm like going into this story. And I can tell, I know when you're done and I should be done and I need to wrap it. And you're like, And I'm like,
no, you know what it is? Because then once I get
you have to get to work.
Right. Like this week, I have so many things to answer now, which is amazing.
Because I gave her all the answers.
Right. So it's like, once you get that, then you're off to the next.
But the reason why I didn't answer you on those 3 very important, incredible opportunities is because I needed to sit with them.
Which a lot of times it is. It's a lot of sometimes revisiting things.
I'm like, hold on, let me ground in it and get really clear. And then, like I said, when it sits in the maybe zone, we need to just shift it to no, not right now. Sometimes things come back around at a better time. But I'm really, really big on that. Can you just give an example? Because I feel like people really like to know this stuff, but like give an example of like an in office, like when I'm in the office, like trying like what it's like to work with me, and then when I'm remote. And I mean, you're really good with like texting me and being,
that's a good
like,
question.
Can I?
I will email everything first because you're good at like, the thing about Melissa is you will get 9 p.m., 10 p.m., sometimes an 8 p.m. response on email. So then the next morning.
Respond to emails in the morning.
Right. So then the next morning you're good to go because you got the answers at night. But so that's where I'll start, is an email. And then if I don't get a response, then it goes to a text like, hey, gentle reminder, need this contract signed, need an answer on this. Can we talk today? Can we meet today? So I feel like that's normally what it is, remote and in the office. It's usually that's the pattern I follow. And then you're on Slack.
I know sometimes Slack, like I'm like, where did the message go? I know
it disappears.
Anna,
Slack's weird.
But why? Because I'll be like, I know Anna sent me the social assets to review. And I'm like, where did they go?
Yeah.
I actually like Slack.
Yeah, I shouldn't say I hate it.
Everyone told me not to get on Slack. And it was Gary Vee who was like, you need to be on Slack.
For the team.
Yeah, he's like, no, that you need to be. And I was like, you're right. But I think you also have to listen to what is best for you. I do like Slack, but when you need me and something's urgent, text me. That's
the way.
Email, because in the morning I like to ground. I like to film my workouts. I like to do all my creative things in the morning. And then as the day goes on, I'll check emails. I'll have Ava just scan. I respond to my emails in my inbox, but if there are things urgent coming up, I'll have Ava just keep
Flag.
keep an
Mhm.
eye on it and let me know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am really I'm all about energy. I do try to adapt and be flexible with like clearly a lot of the business cannot run without me approving things, responding to things, giving creative gut checks. I'm aware of that. So I always, I take this seriously. This
Mhm.
is my job. I love what I do. But sometimes I'll be so incredibly drained from the day and I won't respond to emails at night. It's few and far between, but it does
Mhm.
happen. And I've pushed things off. Like if there's
Well, that's where the vibe check comes
Yeah,
in.
like
It's
I'm
like, we
like, if
gotta
I had a
feel.
shoot scheduled and it's just like, I have a keynote the next day, I'm like, you guys, like, I have to shift this. I have to be so careful of
Mhm.
how much output I'm giving.
Yeah. Vibe check.
Vibe check.
I'll tell the
Love
rest
that.
of the team. What's your favorite characteristic of one another? You seem to vibe so well. This is we should call this like vibey like Q&A.
I like vibe check.
Yeah.
Vibe
Good.
check with Melissa.
Vibe check in Hawaii. I'll go first. Okay. My favorite thing about you is the way that you make people feel. And how, like, if you meet a member or just anyone, like, even if it's like a friend of mine or anyone, you just know how to turn people's day around. Sometimes I don't even think you know. It's like what you say. If somebody needs advice to, like, you're such a motivating person. Like, you know what to say to make people feel good and like chase what they want to chase in their lives.
That's so sweet.
And you're like the type of, I mean, like, this is, I think people know this. It's like you're just that type of person that walks in a room and it's like eyes go to you, you light it up because I think because you make others feel good and you reflect that.
Thanks, Dill. That's so sweet.
It's true. It's a gift that not many people have. So,
I mean, that means everything to me.
okay, give it to me.
My I feel like I have like my mind went to so many things because you're just first and foremost, like you're so easy to be around, but you're an incredible listener.
Mm.
I actually think that that is the thing that I love most about you.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't,
actually surprised.
I know because I don't think most people really listen,
Mm.
but I feel like you always listen to me. Like you get me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're just like a joy to be around. You're just like
That's
a
a big
delight.
compliment
Like it's like
coming from you.
nice.
Who's the vibe checker of all people.
And you're funny as hell. You're funny.
Yeah. We love
Like
to
we have
laugh.
a good we have a good like we get each other's humor.
Oh, for sure.
But even if like I think I'm funny, Dylan will be like, no.
Yeah.
Like it's
I'll laugh
fine.
when it's funny and when it's not, I'm like,
She's like,
okay.
ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotta keep
Yeah.
it
You're
honest.
real. You're super real.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's sweet. Everyone should do that with like
I know.
bosses, friends.
It's important to
family.
know why you keep certain people around you.
It is. It is.
I feel like one of the
Everyone-
questions, because I mean, you wrote these down, so I actually don't even know all of them, but there was one that said, what has kept you with Melissa for so long?
Mhm. Yeah, this one's good. So it's been 7 years. I mean, one, I just at this point could never picture myself working anywhere else. Like you are a dream of a boss. I mean, I know we were just like joking of like all the things, but I am doing what I love. Like I love fitness. I love mindfulness. I love just like the foundation of what MWH is like what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about people feeling good. And I feel like I'm such a product of you and MWH and everything that you preach. And my life has just gotten infinitely better from living this life. So I feel like especially for someone like me, I'm 30 or 41, like, not emulate, but yes, emulate, like want to be a lot like you when I grow up. I mean, how do I say that better? But it's like, it's true. It's like, I think you're such an incredible role model for girls my age or women my age. And yeah, I feel like I've just grown so much with you and absolutely love what I do. Like, it's just grown so much over time. Like, the brands we work with, how we do partnerships, the
The
podcast,
podcast. Dylan wanted me
which,
to do the podcast for years.
yeah, like I'm a podcast whore.
I'm
I
a junkie.
love podcasts. And so years ago, I'm like, we need to start one. We need to start one. And then finally we did. And now it's like, it's my baby. It's like I edit.
She edits.
I edit. I do the ads. I do, all of it. I mean, editors who are doing this,
Yeah,
love
our
you and you do a
incredible
lot too.
editors
But
crush it. And
yes, but I really do feel like it's my baby and it's just so much fun because of this,
This makes me so happy. No, it's so like, I think when you are the founder of something that you've built from like planting that seed in the ground, and then the people that you choose to bring in along the ride to help build those blocks into something bigger than you could have ever even have comprehended. Like, the most important thing for me is for people to feel fulfilled and content. And like, it happens sometimes you outgrow things. So it's important for me for people to feel that sense of like growth and evolution within their role and their potential within the company, which is sometimes hard to do. It's like we all have our job and our role that we play, but it is important to me to really recognize when it's that moment to, have someone take on something bigger, to expand their role. And like, I felt like the podcast for you, it's like you grew so much. And I mean, you're a boss. Like, you handle every single partnership that comes in. It's a lot of work. It's a load. Whenever we're together and I'm like, let me see your inbox, I'm just like curious. I'm like, oh my God. There's
Wait,
like,
I have the best
just because
story.
I'm like, do you get emails every day? Like, what's it like? And she's like, hello.
No, I told Ava, I go, Melissa asked me today if I get a lot of emails. She goes, where does she think they all go?
Well, it's just like, I'm not like over your shoulder. And like we used to literally work in bed like this. Dylan started working when I found out I was pregnant with Eleanor. I was sick every day. We would lay in bed like this. And I also had your email on my phone. So I could literally manage. I mean, I've let go of all of that. But, one thing that I will always, I've had people say to me, what's here today could be gone tomorrow. And it's so important for us all to get off our high horses that some people can be on, and to just be humble with where you are and grateful for incredible opportunities like being here in Hawaii. Like,
we've said that to a few times
it's
to each other this week.
amazing.
And we're like, oh my God, look around us and look where we are. Like, this is insane.
And I remember like the first brand partnership that I did with you.
I was part-time. You hired me first as part-time, which I don't know
started there.
We've ever
I do
shared
remember that. Of course. I couldn't take the leap. I was like,
right. And so she asked me, the first thing I did, we wasn't even like at your house. You literally said, can you come to this yoga class with me and take a few pictures with me and help me with this partnership I had? It was your first partnership. And
I know.
It was like I came and met you for like a few hours and like we did the partnership. And now we're in Maui.
It's what's Dylan's perspective on MWH. But I feel like you just gave the perspective. No, I feel like you gave the perspective on like what it's done to impact you, which I mean, it's been so beautiful to witness your own personal growth. And just, I mean, if there's anyone who is the definition of consistent with their practice and their habits, it's this one. And it's just been, it's so like, you are inspiring that you wake up every day. You've been meditating, which has completely, I think, shifted how grounded you feel to even to work with, but in life, like you're really centered. But it's like you motivate me to stay really consistent with my movement because you are consistent as a motherfucker. Like it's impressive. And just like our dying love for all the things and all the products and like we're always geeking out about everything. I'm trying to get her mouth taping. I'm giving you the tape tonight.
I know. Okay. I'm going to do it tonight.
And I have a supplement for you to try for sleep. But we're always testing. It's like,
I
it's
think
amazing.
the thing with me and you too is we're both Sagittariuses and Sages get along really well.
Yeah.
Sages are like,
we ride the same wavelength.
Yeah. And
we just like get excited about things we love and we love feeling good. And Dylan also rarely drinks.
Yeah. That was actually a question. What do you order to drink when you're out? Non-alcoholic options. Water. Literally,
so you
when
don't
I
really
read that,
order
I was
any.
like, I order a water. And like, who cares? I get it. Listen, I know people feel like they want to have, and obviously I do too. I drink like, I'm not going to say I don't. I drink like 3 or 4 times a year, honestly. That's like at a wedding or like at something like that. But like, that's few and far between.
Right.
And it's like almost never. And I just like, order a water. Or we were talking before, I really love Seedlip.
Love Seedlip, the cucumber.
Yeah. Muddled cucumber.
Muddled cucumber with, I like it with club soda, even a splash of water with like 2 lemons and 2 limes squeezed. Like if I'm at Silver Lining or Saki no Hana, which I love that they have Seedlip, I feel like this movement needs to spread like wildfire, and there should be non-alcoholic liqueurs available everywhere, because
mic drop.
They make you feel a kind of way. And I think for me, it like opens me up a little bit socially, but I don't wake up with a hangover. And I also don't feel like I need anything to be out. But sometimes, listen, after long days and it's like you have dinners, events, it's a lot. So like a little something to gently like loosen you up or like open your heart and give you some feels. Like I am obsessed with stuff like that. But if there are no options, I'm a ginger beer girl on the rocks.
That's a good tip because I
love a ginger beer. And sometimes I do half a ginger beer on the rocks with half a club soda, because ginger beer has a ton of sugar, but it makes you feel alive, and
I feel like
it gives you a kick.
We need to get a mocktail.
We need a mocktail tonight.
Feels like, the vibe.
Well, the past 2 mornings we went up early.
Yeah.
To teach.
Tomorrow we have to wake up even earlier.
I know. Well, I was like, we're waking up really early because we're going on this beautiful walk.
Yeah.
And we're filming an arm series. Dylan loves an arm series, and we're doing it outside.
Love. Maybe some standing abs too.
Okay.
Great.
Oh, done. Okay. We'll do standing arms and abs.
Okay. This is perfect for us leaving. So tips for an easy bounce back into your routine and habits after traveling and letting loose.
I mean, I was like waiting for you to like give us a let loose story. I mean, I think the thing that I have really learned to just be with is implementing elements of my practice. It's my way of life. Like, it's not like for instance, I have my dry brush with me. I have my seed symbiotic. I have my supplements. I even brought my band. I've done a workout. I mean, I'm teaching here, but I would have moved. I wake up every morning and meditate. That's just like my daily non-negotiable with self. But there are things that it doesn't matter where I am that don't leave me. And it doesn't matter even if I'm like in Vegas, for instance, and for like Super Bowl weekend. Oh, fully. It was like, I probably had 7 like drank so many ginger beers, was out so late, went to the club 2 nights in a row. Was I like on my highest frequency of self? No, but
Mhm.
I was having a fucking blast. And I think that there is this beautiful balance that we have to learn to live with of like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Mm.
Like you can dive in and stay out till 4, 5 in the morning, whatever it is, and not feel like you have to torture yourself the next day because of what you did the night before and kind of just rot in bed and feel like,
That's the worst
I
feeling.
think it's the worst feeling too. And I know it trends really hard with younger generations. And I'm really here to say that is not it, people. I'm sorry.
It's not
Wasting a
cool.
Sunday away being hungover all day. It's like the one thing we have in this life is our time. And I want to use my time wisely and live each and every day like it's my freaking last.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, since I stopped drinking, that is how I live my life.
Mm.
And I have more fun now. And I'm so much more filled with joy over the littlest things. And I am not fucked up doing it. You
Mhm.
know, like you don't have to be drunk, you don't have to be high. And I think a lot of people, it's like if they're not doing one thing, they're doing the other. And I think, I mean, listen, I love supplements that make me feel super energized and give me, like, I said this to Dylan earlier. I'm like, I like that feeling of like having a buzz and being a little like high. Who doesn't? Some people don't, but I always have. So now it's like, how to get high off your own supply of
Mm.
life, of vitamins, what things make you feel like they're increasing your frequency, but not taking you out of alignment with self. Like, I'm not taking things that are making me jump out of my skin. It's like natural herbs or nootropics or blends that just make me feel incredible.
Mhm.
And
And you brought so much on this trip, and that's really
I felt good the whole time.
yeah, exactly.
I've
And
had
it's
no jet lag, not
I
once. You
know.
notice that?
Yes.
Because I got right on the time zone
Mhm.
that that's how I do it.
But you also have because of all of your
My
tools.
supplements, my adaptogens,
You have the
and
Apollo, you have the supplements. We've been eating like pretty
tape.
like
We've been indulging, like eating like that delicious bread with
right.
there's been cheese in our salads. That is a really important one people want to know about because
Mm.
we've been on a very similar food journey of
Mhm.
being plant-based, transitioning, moving away from labels. And someone had asked like where we currently are on our journey with
Mhm.
food and how, if we could share.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've always kind of followed in your footsteps. Like, I became plant based like a year or so before I started working for you. And then we were both plant based. And then you started eating meat and eggs and cheese and all that type of stuff, meat and dairy. And it took me a while to warm up. And I started, I think, with eggs. And now I'll have chicken. I'll have really anything now. It just I care more about like the source, if that it's like coming from a really good place. Like I go to the farmer's market every Saturday, literally every single Saturday morning, and I stock up for the week on. They have amazing chicken. They have amazing raw cheeses.
Oh, I
Um,
love raw cheese.
yeah, and I just go there and I get we make pizzas. I make pizzas on a Monday night because you know why? Because I'm using really high quality ingredients that make me feel good. And that's what I've found is all that really matters. It's not about like restricting or it's being intentional with my food.
100%. And I think for me, while like my focus is there, like when I'm home, I go to the farmer's market, I'm buying high quality ingredients. But I also like, for instance, like when we were at the airport and I was like, I need some, like Dylan brought the entire like Bonberry Mart with her on our travels. And I was like, that all looks amazing. But like right now I need like a hearty, I needed something hearty. So I got like an egg and cheese like
Bagel.
bagel. And it was like white, everything. And I'm like, it's so interesting because I think when you are someone who had struggles with food, struggled with an eating disorder like myself, it's this, and I have a whole episode on this called Food Freedom. There's something really liberating where you're like, you know what? It's not perfect. I know these eggs are definitely not organic, cage free. Like they're none of the things, but I'm going to enjoy this and I'm not going to think about every single thing that's not perfect about it right now. And there's just like this letting go. And for me, it was having kids where I'm just like, I'm going to be okay. I grew up on Burger King. Like I can eat that and I don't need to torture myself for what I eat. But like the majority of my diet is really clean. And I just, listen, I can get down with some food sometimes. And like I have pizza once a week, real pizza. And I don't make it. I order it and it's real cheese and I enjoy it. And I have a slice sometimes too with a salad because I also love a salad. I love vinegar and I love the blend of both.
A balance.
It would be my last meal. A slice and a salad.
Yeah.
A couple slices.
I'm with that.
Like
Same.
that's just it for me. I could never have dessert again for the rest of my life and I would be fine. I wouldn't even think about it.
I mean, that's crazy.
Well, I'm a savory all the way.
Yeah, you are.
I'd rather have bread or French fries or pizza.
But you're just also, again, being with you for the last 7 years and seeing your evolution with food, it's like, it's so amazing the way that you just, because also girls, you have no qualms. And it's inspiring in today's world. It really is.
I will take food down. Like I don't.
People, she's eating it all.
Ava
is not
always
alive.
says, she's like, that's probably one question I get a lot. Is like, does she really eat all of it that she shares? I'm like, I have been there. I've pretended for years. Like, let me tell you, the best part of your 40s is you have no more fucks to give. And people say 50s and 60s and 70s, it just keeps getting better. I honestly can't wait. But it's just like, I'm like, I have nothing to prove to anyone. You said this to me this trip. You're like, can you please start sharing more of what you eat
I just
again?
think I just get ideas and that's what people love. They just want to know, people get food ruts. They want to know what to eat.
I mean, every single recipe on our site in the nutrition section is like stuff that I make. And it's the simplicity of it's not going to take you longer than 15 minutes. I do not like to overcomplicate anything in my life. If it takes too long or there's too many steps, you've lost me already.
So true.
Easy meals. That's what our recipes are all about.
Yeah, it's true. Check them out.
And you've been making a lot of them. And I have the egg salad sandwich to come. I know you didn't love the one here, but mine is delish.
Yeah.
And you'll know the sourcing.
Oh.
It will be clean.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. How do you fill all your buckets and not get caught up if you don't fill all of them?
We were talking about this earlier because
I said to Melissa, you have so many buckets. You have yourself, which is obviously the biggest priority because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. And then you have your kids and you have your team and you have your husband and then you have your friends and your family. And it's like, there's so many buckets.
In the community.
And
yeah. There's so many buckets. It makes me think of that book, like The Bucket Filler, that the kids love. And it's like, are you a bucket filler? Or because you don't want to empty people's bucket. Like when you're being negative or nasty, it's like empties someone's bucket. I know, it's one of my favorite books, actually. I feel like 2023 for me was the year of me feeling like I don't know that I can do all of this. I really was like, I don't know that I can manage it. Like the level of responsibilities that I have was everything was feeling so heavy. And a lot of it was feeling heavy because I was taking it all on emotionally. I am a very emotional person. I am a heart leader through and through, but I'm also guided entirely by my gut. So, working with even, working with my therapist, hiring an executive coach for a handful of months helped me to get really clear in my life where I'm feeling filled up and then where I'm feeling drained. And I feel like it was last year was a year of like going underneath the hood of my life and my work and my relationships. And instead of just doing the thing or showing up because everybody else was, and I said I was going to go, I'm like, but do I want to? And how do I feel in that meeting? And how do I feel when I say yes to a dinner with Noah just because he wanted me to go, but I didn't really want to go? Like, I have gotten so honest with myself in a way that I never have before. And I always say it's the first step. When things are not living in a flow state, you have to go back to the drawing board and really ask yourself why. Because most of us live to please everyone but ourselves.
Mhm.
And I prioritize myself. Like I take such beautiful care of myself. And I'm really proud of that because I did it for so long. And that first and foremost is truly, that's like the glue that holds it all together for me is taking care of myself, my mind, my body, my spirit. I'm very spiritual and I want to implement a lot more of the foundation of spirituality into MWH because it actually is a massive part of the foundation
Mhm.
where like, yes, meditation, but I mean, I've been channeling, I've learned to open up my channels. This may sound crazy. I'll do an entire episode. Actually, I want to do it with Jenna Zoe on this, who is incredible. She is the founder of My Human Design app. She wrote the human design book that I love and I've shared. But I've just really gotten honest with myself and where things were not connecting. And I've taken very clear inventory of it. So where I was feeling swallowed and all of the things, I had to ask myself why. Why am why am I feeling that way in that one particular meeting? And then realizing I don't need to be in that meeting. Like I can shift and sway things to mold. And by the way, this is also something that I don't just want to be about, the way that I'm taking this on as a team and working with people and in relationships with your partner, with your friends. You have to get really honest with each other and communicate the needs. They have to be reciprocated on both ends. And I've been communicating my needs. I've learned to really communicate my needs to my team, to Alex Bear and to Emily, who I'm learning to work together differently, where it's less of these separations of two teams. We talk about this a lot in the episode with Emily, our head of marketing, but I want to feel this like connectivity and this togetherness with everything that I'm spending my time doing. And where it's not just about me being connected and aligned, it's about whomever I'm in that relationship with. And it has changed the way that I work.
Mm.
And I'm also learning and really trying not to take things so personally and emotionally. Like I've had to make really emotional, hard decisions, but I've been able to really sit with the separation of business decisions and doing the right thing, doing people right, but also having to make really hard choices. And sometimes you have to do really hard things. And I feel lighter. I feel really clear. And as soon as I start to feel the overwhelm, I'm like, I dissect, and not in a controlling way. It's like I go under the hood and I look at all the layers and then I adjust, and I auto correcting, and I'm really solving for things in a way that's like I've really stepped in as a boss.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm really proud of the boss that I've become because it's really hard to be a boss.
I
And
can't imagine, honestly.
it's really hard.
Yeah.
But I love it. And that is one thing that I've learned through the process of working with an executive coach, deep diving the depths of my emotions in therapy is like, I love being the CEO. I love being the founder. I love being a creator. I love creating. I love editing. I love seeing something and visualizing it, but then watching it come to life. And I love being with my kids. I love waking up with my kids. I love being with my kids almost every single night during the week. And I know that. So I rarely say yes to things, maybe one thing here and there. And I love to be with my friends, but I can't do all the things that I wanted to do. And I'm okay with that now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay disappointing people
That's what it is.
I'm okay with that. Because there is one person that's living my life, and it's me. And I need to be pleased with me and where I put my time. And I really try to give everyone I love and who is important in my life time with me. But there's not always a lot to give everyone. And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it just, you don't have as much
Energy in the tank for that one.
Exactly. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really truly how I've feel in a place within myself I've never felt before, and it feels good.
I think it's obvious to everyone else. It's like it vibrates from you. I think that's a good place to end.
I mean, well, just one more thing, because going back to once we start, we can't stop. No, but I think that this is important because I have this true clarity and connectivity to what I'm doing. I am doing things in my life I've always wanted to do. Like I am literally living a dream life that like I've always felt this like I want to get on stage. I want to become a motivational speaker. I am a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Like no more of that. Like that's who I am at my core. And no longer talking about it, I'm doing it. And the only place that you can do those things in is when you're spending your time and energy in the areas that make you feel fulfilled and content and happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you fly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fly from being bogged down.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of shit on my plate.
Yeah. But that's also with like for this question, it's like that's even with the people around you, like cleaning up and being around the right people, team wise, friends wise, all of it.
Relationship, your partner.
Yeah.
Like you need to surround yourself with people who lift and rise you and each other up. Don't just show up great for the boss. No. We show up great for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a collective thing.
Mm-hmm. That was amazing.
That was amazing. Isn't it just a different free flowing like way of doing it?
No, I'm obsessed.
I know. I told you.
Like,
because it's just like there's a different freedom, and it's like a surrender of like,
yeah,
let it go.
It's so casual. It's so good.
So casual.
We need to let us know if you guys want more like
Oh no,
the casual vibe. You're like, it's decided.
Oh no, it's happening. And like solos need to happen this way for me.
This is
the
summer.
solo vibe. Yeah. And
this is what you're getting.
This is it. Yay.
Yay.
Love you. Love you.